Strangers on a Plane, presented by Stillafrog.
The strangest thing. You know how you meet someone and it's like kismet or serendipity or whatever other word they have for it? And you think that this is someone you're supposed to meet, or someone you have met except you don't know quite why, or the timing may be all wrong, or something else that prevents the happily ever after that Hallmark Channel's movies are so famous for shoving down our throats. But then, magically, you get a do-over, because lo and behold, serendipity rears her head again, and there he is. This person you were supposed to meet, and now you've met him once more. What do you do with that? You tell me. The following is a messaging exchange that, well, proves to me at least that fate really can be a mysterious thing.
Is this really you?
Really me?
You did like my dating profile, correct? I did get that part right.
Oh, yes, I did like it. You seem intriguing and strangely familiar. It almost feels like we've met before. And no, that is not a line. But then again, it's so hard to tell from a photo because the image can be totally off. I've met some men on here who look like George Clooney, and then up close and in person, oh boy, they're like his bloated, buck-toothed, greasy-haired stunt double. Long story short, I never trust online dating app photos. So tell me, is there something strangely familiar about you, LOL?
Well, I want to say yes, but I don't want you to think me some creepy stalker kind of guy, or worse, a bloated and buck-toothed George Clooney, LOL. But I am pretty certain we've met, and in fact, you're not going to believe this, I think we've been married before.
Well, now I'm not sure whether to report you to the dating site powers that be, not to mention the authorities, or let you tell your story.
You could certainly report me, but then I have a feeling you will always be left with this lingering thought. What the hell was that guy talking about? We were married? And this nagging curiosity will haunt you day and night until, becoming obsessed with knowing what on earth I was talking about, you send me a desperate 1 a.m. message asking me to explain myself. Alas, however, the dating site powers that be have permanently revoked my privileges, and I am never to be heard from again on this particular app. The beat, beat, beat of my infernal absence will continue to haunt you, and tragically my countenance shall nevermore besmirch your screen again.
Oh, very poetic. And aren't you conflating like a couple of Edgar Allan Poe stories? LOL. Okay, so I won't report you yet. And do tell, how do we know each other? And in what universe were we married?
Ah, the lady's curious. Okay. Think commuter flight. Think Key West. Silver Air. Ring any bells?
Oh my God. Oh, say more.
What I can say is that I know quite a bit about you.
Really?
You're a widow who's had 3 different careers.
You're not wrong.
Well, my telepathic powers run deep. Let's see. You worked for the FAA during one of the 3 aforementioned careers.
I know where this is going. Continue.
And your family wasn't a fan of your marriage, given that there was a 25-year age gap. Look, I believe I said this on the plane, but for what it's worth, I can't imagine what it's like to go through losing a spouse.
Actually, you did say it on the plane, and I appreciated that. And now it's all coming back. The flight attendant on that commuter plane, she mistook us for a married couple, right?
Correct. And not just her. Remember the woman sitting across the aisle, the British woman? She also thought we were married because I moved her bag for you. She even commented that we must have beautiful children.
Now I get it. The married once upon a time part. Yeah, cute. And as I recall, so were you.
Oh, thank you. I also remember the torrential downpour once we landed. You know, I rang your office the following day just to be sure you made it back safely.
Oh my God, yes. I heard all about your phone call from my colleagues. They thought it was super sweet, except for Andrea. Andrea always suspects everyone of some deeper, diabolical motive. She pegged you for
A creeper stalker guy?
bloated and buck-toothed to boot, yeah. And here I went and liked your photo because it was familiar. Isn't that something?
Certainly is. So what do you make of it?
Of what?
The chance factor. Fate. Kismet. You know, our paths crossing twice in one lifetime.
Well, twice in one lifetime doesn't seem all that impressive. I mean, I've met plenty of people twice.
Any that you've been unofficially married to?
Well, good point. Though I would say paths crossing 3 times, that'd be a different story. 3 times would be something to write home about.
You know, I never understood that phrase, something to write home about. I mean, I get it. You have big news or something fantastic happens and you're just bursting to share it, but to write home? Wouldn't you like immediately pick up the phone? Isn't that the far more expedient thing to do than writing home about it? I mean, think of all the overhead.
Wait, I thought we were talking about paths crossing 3 times. What do you mean overhead?
Stamp, envelope, pen, paper, the gas to mail the damn thing? Phone home about it makes so much more sense, doesn't it? And, I mean, even if we're talking about pre-Thomas Edison days, wouldn't you, like Paul Revere, just exuberantly grab the nearest pony and ride up and down shouting about it? I mean, had he written to everyone that the British were coming, we'd be having a spot of tea and crumpets right now.
Well, that is, I can honestly say I never would have thought of it that way. You're fun to talk to. And FYI, prior to your American history lesson, I was trying in an apparently not very obvious way to ask you out.
Really? 3 times you mentioned our paths crossing for a 3rd time. I'd say that's pretty obvious. And you know, the truth is, I wanted to ask you out on the plane. You told me early on you were widowed, and I just wasn't sure if it was recent. I didn't want to intrude. And now, I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were getting into. American history lesson and all. Give you a chance to politely retract your repeatedly hinted at offer.
How can I say no to what fate seems to have ordained as a ride worth taking?
Well, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
I have no idea if that's a yes or a no.
Oh, it's a yes. It is most definitely a yes.